At this point, the IC assesses that China is our most capable strategic competitor. Under the leadership of President Xi Jinping, the People's Republic of China seeks to position itself as a leading power on the world stage. China's military is fielding advanced capabilities, including hypersonic weapons, stealth aircraft, advanced submarines, stronger space and cyber warfare assets. China also aims to compete in other critical global industries, including AI, legacy semiconductor chip production, biomanufacturing and genetic sequencing, and medical and pharmaceutical supply production. Leveraging often heavily state-subsidized production at greater scale, lower costs, and weaker regulatory standards than required in the West.
That's the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, yesterday speaking to the Senate Intelligence Committee, discussing the threat China poses to the United States. Her testimony follows a report published by U.S. intelligence agencies finding China wants to displace the United States as the top AI power by 2030. The Commerce Department adding over 50 Chinese companies to its export blacklist yesterday, doubling down on efforts to curb China's AI and chip capabilities. Joining me now is Hudson Institute Senior Fellow, Corporate Compliance Lawyer, and the author of No Escape, The True Story of China's Genocide of the Uyghurs. Nury Turkel is here. Nury, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And, of course, you should know your book, No Escape, talks a bit about how your mother was forced to work as a Uyghur in the re-education camps, actually gave birth to you there. You recently wrote for the Institute about this very issue. Tell us more.
Thank you very much, Maria, for having me on. China wants to rule the AI world, as you alluded, by 2030, according to the U.S. intelligence assessment, but it could happen sooner. Beijing is not just competing, it's sprinting to dominate the artificial intelligence. This is not about innovation, it's about control. AI for surveillance, censorship, and military advantages. As you know, there are three key players in the AI field: the United States, Europe, and China. For the Europeans, it's all about privacy. For the United States, innovation, market share. For the Chinese, it's about control. And if you don't lead in the AI field, we'll be taking dictation from the dictators in the Leninist China. So China is also using AI as a weapon. They fuses commercial AI with the military, might building a future technology, powered repression, war. As you know, that the United States government has been adding Chinese entities to the entity list, including the one announced yesterday, since 2019, to block them access to sensitive technologies, specifically the microchips that we've been discussing.
Yeah, but Nury, I mean, look, you've written that China's DeepSeek, President Trump has called China's DeepSeek artificial intelligence system a wake-up call. You know, we know the threats coming from communist China, but you specifically write in this piece, AI, national security, and the global technology race, how U.S. export controls define the future of innovations. And you write that China's rapid advancements in AI are being enabled by loopholes in the U.S. export control laws. Tell us where the loopholes are, Nury.
The export control loopholes are the shell companies that set up by the Chinese to circumvent Chinese export control enforcement measures. They also stealing of U.S. technology. The memo essentially calls for a control of frontline defense, which is export control in a tech race against communist China. American chip companies should not power oppression from PLA battlefields to Uyghur camps that you mentioned earlier. There's an ongoing genocide in China today, and we know through a documented evidence that the Chinese are using AI algorithm initially to round up millions of innocent people in its modern-day concentration camps. And also, the CCP uses AI for cyber espionage. This is not about the, the export control measures to block access to U.S. technology. This is about our future. Whoever sets the rules for 21st century through modern technology, emerging technology, will be leading. So we have to ask ourselves, are we going to be okay with the world governed with the Chinese governance system, specifically in the DeepSeek, as you mentioned.
That's right.
Imposes censorship.
Well, I mean,
If you go to
there's so many inconsistencies when it comes to policies. I mean, you know, I've got to ask why we've got blacklisted companies, and they put more companies yesterday, the Chinese companies, on the blacklist, and yet some of these companies you can invest in. They trade on our exchanges. So, I mean, there's a real disconnect here and an inconsistency when you look at what President Trump has put out in terms of his America First investment policy and the reality of stocks traded in the U.S. that may or may not be on several government, you know, quote unquote blacklists, and yet ordinary investors are able to buy these stocks.
In order to address this, we have to look at it different ways than we traditionally have been.
Yeah.
The export control measures been implemented, enforced, has not taken the United States to where we should be. So we need to look at in 4 different ways. One, we must lead.
Yeah.
The American AI should be the norm. We also engage in a robust investment and innovation.
Yeah, because Nury, let me just interrupt because we only have a couple of seconds here.
Yeah.
But Nury, the U.S. is accusing China of developing brain control weaponry to assist Beijing's military. I mean, you mentioned it in your article. Tell me about this brain weaponry.
The United States government in late 2021 identified Chinese Military Medical Science Academy and its 11 affiliates and added to the export ban entity list for developing brain control weaponry. That technology includes gene editing, brain-machine interface, and human enhancement. So this is not a science fiction. This is a real warning that how the Chinese have been nefariously using technology for suppression. This could happen anywhere else. This is not just a matter that the Chinese people have been subjected to.
Very serious stuff.
Yes, indeed.
Nury, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much. We're going to keep following your work, and we appreciate your time this morning. Nury Turkel joining us. Thank you, sir.